Hello fellow Helldivers, Thornton here, and today we're going to be talking about vehicles because, as you can see, I do a lot of trekking on foot. A lot of us do that in the game as well, but we've been waiting for vehicles and we know of a couple types that are going to be coming in, or maybe not because they have been removed from the files. We're going to go over everything we need to know and if they're going to be still coming to the game. But without further ado, let's jump into today's topic.
So in the world of video games and video game development, there's always the question of what's coming next, and leaks and data mines have always been a really big part of it ever since live service games came in, and people could go through the files and then show what is actually coming in the future. Now, Twinbeard, one of the devs over at Arrowhead Studios, actually had a pretty interesting take, and I want to go over it. He said, nope, the thing is, to offer some context on why we never comment on leaks nor discuss them, why? There's simply no upside for neither us nor you. Sure, we get some that are curious, still, stuff that's been pulled in data mining can be scrapped ideas, ancient stuff, newer stuff, work in progress, or confirmed for all we know. And that brings up a very important ideology that I don't think everyone is completely aware of, at least when it comes to video game development. Now, I've been covering Apex Legends leaks on my main channel for like 4 or 5 years. It's kind of like what I do. And I've seen so much content come into that game and then so much stuff being play tested that eventually got scrapped. It's just what happens in video game development. In fact, Iron Sights, Asunder, and more actually bring up some interesting stuff, such as Asunder saying they cut helmet HUDs, which was something apparently supposed to come in for at least maybe the first person view. And then Iron Sight saying, yeah, they have cut so much nearly complete content, real, maybe they'll come back. And that brings up something very interesting, that no matter what you see on a data mining or leaking channel, whether it be Helldivers or any other video game, nothing is ever 100% confirmed. It's shown it's always very possible that it either gets completely scrapped or that, the devs decided that it just would not work in their game. That being said, there was some talk the other day about vehicles possibly being removed, possibly making it in, and Jinx brought up some really interesting stuff, saying that they might be cut in the future due to maps and engine issues maybe, and that they are no longer in the files as of now. If anything, they are in the dev build, which does happen all the time. Things can get removed from the game and then brought over to the dev build to figure out if they can actually make it in. One of the major issues with Arrowhead and adding in so much of the new stuff they are doing is the fact that the game engine that they built it on, which is the Stingray Autodesk, is already extinct. It just does not simply exist in the game anymore for upgrades, and they can't really do anything to modify the engine as of now, which means that if it does not work, if say the new vehicles that do come in, if they don't work on the dev build, even though they were about 70% complete, if it ends up just like crashing your PS5 or your PC, they simply can't put it into the game. Does that mean it's not 100% coming? No. Does that mean it's 100% coming? No. In fact, Ironsights brings up the fact that the vehicle bay model of the ship still exists, and all vehicle components are intact, and Asunder agrees with that. So it does seem like this is still something that they are actively working on adding into the game. There's also some other talk that Pilstead, one of the former CEOs of Arrowhead, said that armor customization is being worked on, but they see nothing about it in the files. And Asunder goes ahead and says it won't be in the files, meaning that even though there are future stuff being worked on, we won't even know about all of them. We only get a small glimpse on what is possible. Something really cool that was actually shared was 76 Jinx, one of the data miners, actually made a Super Earth render using the textures in game. That gives us a pretty good idea that we are going to be going to Super Earth because it's in the game files, but once again, we can't be 100% certain because there could be things that the devs team decide just aren't worth continuing or pursuing, or doesn't fit their current plans, or, it just doesn't work in the engine. Going on with more cool things, 76 Jinx also showed us the new renders from Iron Sights of the Bile Charger, which apparently explodes like a kamikaze upon impact, which is going to be one of the new bugs. Also, super fantastic, but when something explodes in a kamikaze, well, things are going to go flying everywhere, and that can cause frame issues. There's also really cool stuff, like Iron Sights pointing out he's not sure if it's releasing, but there are color schemes for ships and armors and weapon skins, and that's a monetization issue. That is something that Sony may push, that Arrowhead decides, hey, we don't want to add that much monetization in our games. So there's going to always be a back and forth between publisher, developer, and engine limitations. If you look in the files right now for vehicles, it says remove. Once again, that is most likely because they've been moved over to the dev build. We've seen stuff like the Colony Rover, which is supposed to come somewhat with Super Earth. There's also the other vehicles, which you've been seeing in the background gameplay of this, and overall, these seem like really cool pieces of content coming to the game. And I really do hope that though they were 70% done, they still make it into the final product. But like with every leak and data mine that we go over on this channel, no one should ever be taken 100% as gospel. Not even the devs and the CEO, because I've seen it so much in other games games where CEOs say they are working on this thing, they want to release this thing, and there can always be a breakdown in communication where it just isn't feasible. So enjoy as much of the data mining and leaks of the future of Helldivers 2 to your heart's content. Just keep your expectations in check and have a hopeful future. Never ever believe something is 100% concretely proven until we see it in a trailer and we have a release date officially by the publisher and developer.
Let me know down below, Helldivers, what kind of vehicles would you like to see come? Are you happy with the 3 that they are working on, or is there something brand new that you would have ideas for that you'd want to see implemented into the game in the near future? Also, don't forget to check out this video right here and this video right here where I cover more information on Helldivers 2. And until next time, everyone, keep spreading democracy. I'll see you in the next video.